The league title is on the line today as the two teams at the top of the elite table go head-to-head. Home side Birmingham are on the crest of a wave at the moment after their surprise away win against local rivals Wolverhampton, and they line up today full of confidence that they can lower the colours of the defending champions Oxford. The Hammers will want to get back to winning ways after losing at Poole, where they were without their most experienced rider, Steve Harris. He's back in the Oxford lineup today, where he's sure to provide a motivational cutting edge to the defending champions. So let's get on with the action now with the race number one, and it's the Birmingham team that have got the inside starting advantages in the first race, and they track their Polish rider Konrad Piętek on gate number one. Their Welsh under-21 rider Jack Harold lines up from gate 3 with the Oxford pairing of Steve Harris and Sean Rudman on the outside gates. What can the Oxford team do then? They'll be looking to at least take a share of the spoils in this first race from the outside grids, and it's Rudman who tries to power around. Steve Harris there doing the sheltering job and lets his partner around. Konrad Piętek, the pole in the lead from Rudman for Oxford, trying an inside pass there but not finding the gap. Piętek still leading, and meanwhile at the back Steve Harris shutting off the efforts of Jack Harold. So a drawn race as they proceed round towards the last lap. Konrad Piętek then, the pole based in Częstochowa, Poland, is over here working in the Midlands and racing for the Birmingham club. You've got Sean Rudman there, just content to take the second place. Harris holding on to third. That's a 5-5 to open the proceedings, and I'm sure they'll all be happy about that one. Incident-free race, and no team making an early advantage. On we go to heat number 4, and Piętek's out again in action for Birmingham, but you see there he was just a little too eager at the starting gate and has picked up an exclusion, which leaves the home side with just one rider, and that's Mark Winwood out there alone on gate 4 to face Steve Harris and Sean Rudman. So numerically the odds very much in favour of Oxford now, and sure enough they're capitalising on that with a 7-2 as Harris disappears out in front and Rudman does the blocking job on Winwood, and is a first advantage of the day to the defending league champions Oxford, who come around with a 7-2 to give them a 5-point lead in the match by 17 points to 22. Let's hear what Steve Harris has got to say.
Well, it's been a very cagey start. The first 3 races have been 5-5 right the way through, but we thought heat 4 there was going to be a chance for us to capitalise and take a 1-2. We thought we'd get that even if there wasn't the movement of the tape, but obviously the movement of the tape made it an easier 7-2. So we're 5 up now, and hopefully we can consolidate that right through to the end. It's going to be a lot of cagey racing in this match, going to be a lot of drawn heats, but hopefully we can hold on to the lead now right through the end and take the win at the end.
On we go to heat number 6, with Birmingham still trailing by 5 points, but they've got one of their big 3 riders, and that's Chris Timms, already a winner earlier in the proceedings, and he's out there on gate position number 4. His partner Scott Millwood, and they're up against Lewis Bates and Mark Carmichael. So it's a pretty evenly matched race here, and Birmingham do need to strike back to try and wipe out some of that 5-point arrears. They're off to a clean start, and certainly Timms is right the way round from gate position number 4, and he lines up Lewis Bates, who leads for Oxford, and look at that pass, home track knowledge there put to good use by Timms, and he comes through to take it over, and he's looking for a gap for his team partner Scott Millwood, who's into second place, but only momentarily, because Mark Carmichael sees the smallest of gaps and comes through for Oxford to take over the second spot, and it leaves Millwood to hold off the ever challenging presence of Lewis Bates, who's at the back there. So at the moment Birmingham on to a 6-4 heat advantage. This would be good, this would close the gap, but it's Timms leading, and Bates now making a final bend challenge on Millwood. He forces his way through there on the Birmingham youngster and takes a very well earned 3rd place to share the points. See how much it means to Lewis Bates there. Plenty of action to look at here. First of all, there's the pass by Chris Timms on Lewis Bates earlier in the proceedings, and almost immediately Mark Carmichael coming through to take over the second place. Millwood caught napping there, there, and right up on the last bend there, he left it very late, but Lewis Bates there, very experienced rider for Oxford, comes through to take a very well-earned 2 points for third place. Well, it's heat 7, and Oxford have Mark Bowler at this time on gate position number 2 to lead their attack. And what can he... Oh, he looked as if he just anticipated the start there. He has indeed. Referee Colin Simmons has no hesitation in directing him back to the pit, so that's a big blow for Oxford. It just leaves Errol Thor alone to face the Birmingham pair of Jack Harold, who leads it away from gate 3, and Conrad Pintek there, the pole, and poor old Errol Thor alone at the back. It's not the first time that's happened this season, and looks like Birmingham are going to bring the match level with a 7-2 if it stays like this, because a 7-2 race victory, capitalising on that Mark Bowler exclusion, and the match now level at 34 points apiece. I wonder what Mark's got to say about that exclusion.
I was going for a big gate, obviously trying to gate across gate 1. Needed a 5 ball off the outside gate, but obviously had a bit of a movement, so I was excluded.
Well, the crowd at Perry Hall playing fields eagerly awaiting race number 8. It's a quality lineup. All 4 riders are British finalists. As Sean Rudman and Lewis Osborne are pairing for Oxford, and Marcus Wadhams and Paul Hurd are pairing up for Birmingham. And this is a key race with the level scores at 34 points apiece. It could be that the rest of the match will be dictated by what happens in this one as they tense themselves up at the start of the race. Referee Colin Simmons now just getting them level and putting them under starters' orders for what could be a real cracker. So it's Rudman on the inside, then Hurd next to him, then Osborne and Wadhams on gate number 4. Away they go into the first bend, and it's as with the gates, with Rudman leading it out from Hurd. Hurd in second place there on his home track there, just being drifted a little bit wider. Osborne now trying to find a place up the inside, but switches back, and it's Rudman leading from Paul Hurd of Birmingham in second place. In third place, Lewis Osborne. Now, Rudman trying to slow it up to get his partner around, but that only succeeds in letting Paul Hurd drift his opponent out and allows Marcus Wadhams through into second place. So that move by Rudman there not really coming off, and Rudman continues to lead it for Oxford, but it's now Wadhams in second place for Birmingham, who have now taken a share of the spoils at 5 apiece, because what was a 6-4 has now turned into a 5-5, and it keeps the scores level. Let's have another look at that one and see what Sean Rudman might have done wrong for Oxford. And here you can see it. He just drifts across to the inside, tries to slow up his opponent. Paul Hurd there slows down, just gives a little bit of a nudge to Lewis Osborne, and that allows Wadhams through into third place. It's a 5-5, and the scoreline 39 points apiece. Well, Heat 9 sees the 2 teams deadlocked on 39 points apiece as they line up with Lewis Bates and Steve Harris. Strong pairing for Oxford, but Birmingham, the hosts, have got the inside starting gate positions with Scott Millward on the inside and Mark Winwood on gate position number 3. So are they going to go into the half-time interval level, or is one team going to take an advantage from this one? Away they go, and Steve Harris there, just a little nudge on Millward, and that's enough to allow Bates to come right around from gate 4 and into the lead. Millward then stuck in second place for Birmingham, but Steve Harris sees the smallest of gaps and is straight through to join his partner Bates out in front for Oxford 7-3. Millward in third place and Winwood trailing at the back, and Birmingham now staring down the wrong end of a 7-3 as Oxford lead this one up and take the checkered flag to lead by 46 points to 42 at the interval there. And that was all about the first bend there. First of all, Harris just coming across on Millward, knocks him off balance just enough to allow Bates round. Harris then takes care of Winwood at the back and looks for an opportunity to come through joining his team partner, and a 7-3 is the result. I'm sure Steve Harris has got something to say about that, and then we'll hear from the 2 team managers.
Look, you never ride a perfect Shakespeare match. What's been has been. Let's put that behind us and work in the second half. You know, we got a 4-point lead. No, there's not a lot to defend. Keep doing exactly what we've been doing. Eliminate the mistakes as much as ours. I'm happy with that first half. You know, it's not going to be easier in the second half. To be fair, Timms, Wadhams and Hurd have only had 2 rides each, so they've got 3 to come in the second half. Right, but so have we. We got more insights to capitalise on.
Okay.
Keep our heads, ride the same as the first half, cut out the mistakes, it's in the bag.
Fairly happy with how the first half went there. Obviously we had one mistake there with the gate exclusion, but then so did they. Basically went how we wanted it to go. Second half we've got more insides than them. We're riding the same sort of formula as we rode the British Team Championship, which we won earlier in the year, so consequently we're fairly happy.
It's very tight as I expected, and just a 4-point difference. I'm comfortable with that because our 3 big riders have still got 3 rides left, which is helpful.
Well, if Birmingham are going to make any impression on this match, they've got to start the second half with a race win. They trail by 4 points at the interval, but they've got the perfect pairing to do so, and that is Paul Hurd and Chris Timms. They're up against Chris Osborne and Mark Carmichael for the Oxford team on gates 1 and 3, Oxford, with Osborne on 1. He'll be hoping to hold off Hurd, who's a strong challenger on gate 2. Mark Carmichael, the Welsh international, goes from gate 3, and Chris Timms getting himself ready there on a gate position number 4. So will Birmingham be able to make up some of the arrears this time? Referee Colin Simmons is going to keep his eagle eye on all of them as he stands in a position behind the riders. Sometimes refs do this just to get a good view into the first bend to make sure that the elbows and the riding line is as per the rule book, and he's just preparing them now to start the race, putting them under starters' orders, and the races will commence between 2 and 5 seconds as away they go, and it's Osborne who holds the first bend advantage. Immediately Hurd, you see there, dropping under and taking over the lead, and a big crash there involving Carmichael and Timms. Carmichael takes the tumble. It looks as if it was elbow to elbow, but the referee obviously sees nothing wrong. He's allowing the race to continue, so Hurd leading it for Birmingham, and with Timms in 3rd place, they take a 6-4 win there to narrow the deficit. 48 points now to Birmingham and 50 to Oxford. Here you see Timms on the first bend just coming under his opponent, and I'm sure Steve Harris will be out there speaking to the referee about this incident you're about to see, because Carmichael takes a tumble, Timms there on the outside, and that is a key part of that race. Let's hear what Steve got to say to the ref.
Over there when Chris Timms come into Mark was a little bit of excessive force. I mean, Mark's pretty confident on the bike and doesn't just fly over the handlebars.
I agree it was force, but I didn't see it as excessive. It was a bit of a 50-50, and I give the I make the decision very quick, and I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, I made my point.
A little bit hard, but not excludable.
I made my point, I accept
not excludable.
Well, the match is delicately poised now as we go into Heat 11, and Birmingham switch to the inside starting gates, and they've got their pairing of Marcus Wadhams and Nathan Groves, and they'll be out against Mark Bowler and Errol Thor for Oxford. This is could be 2 races in one here, because the 2 top men, Wadhams and Bowler, are likely to be going head to head, and could be interesting to see whether Nathan Groves can get the better of Errol Thor for the minor place. So 2 races, 1 in prospect. Wadhams on the inside start. We've already seen what he can do from the start. We also have seen what Mark Bowler can do from the outside. You can see here he's already made the first bend and gets himself into 2nd place behind Wadhams. Wadhams then leading it up for Birmingham, and I'm sure he'll have to have eyes in the back of his head, because we've seen several times what Bowler can do, the sudden switch going into the corner to catch his opponent unawares. Wadhams there not going flat out, but just keeping a constant weather eye open for the Oxford rider as he continues to lead the race, and in 3rd place Errol Thor still holding on to the advantage from Nathan Groves. So Wadhams leads it up. It's a drawn race at this stage, but I'm sure at any moment Bowler could be switching. He tries to con Wadhams there, and he does in fact switch up the inside, but coming up to the flag, Wadhams just holds him on. Bowler didn't see the opening that he was looking for, and so that remains a drawn race, and the match still poised with just 2 points between the team, with Birmingham on 53 and Oxford now on 55. It's anybody's match. Well, Oxford go into Heat 13 with a 4-point advantage after a bread and butter 6-4 win in Heat 12. So as they line up for this one, we've got Sean Rudman and Lewis Osborne hoping to hold on to that 4-point advantage, but they'll be under pressure from Chris Timms and Scott Millward, the home riders, as they get away to a clean start with Timms in the lead and looking for his team partner. Looking around, all he sees is the red colours of Oxford as Sean Rudman's right on his back wheel and Lewis Osborne back back in third place. And they come head to head, and down they come. The referee stopped that one, Colin Simmons. It looked like a 50-50 shoulder barge to me, although Chris Timms has taken his helmet off. It looks as if he might be anticipating the exclusion. I think it would probably be harsh if he got one, but surely the referee there is just going to arbitrate on that one. He gets Timms and Rudman across. He's just explaining the incident as he saw it, and it looks very much to me as if they're coming back for another attempt, that one then, and Sean Rudman picks himself up, dusts himself off, and they'll go head to head, possibly literally again in the restart of the race. So it's Heat 13, who's going to be lucky for this time, as Birmingham will be trying to get a heat advantage here to wipe out that 4-point deficit in the restart of the race, with Timms once again the favourite on the all-important inside gating position. So they're lining up then, and Rudman on the outside is the one to watch. He's a super jet propelled starter, and I'm sure he'll be coming around once again to have another attempt to get points at the expense of Chris Timms. So they're under orders now, and away they go. Timms looks over his shoulder, once again sees the Oxford riders behind him. Rudman on the tail of Timms, so it's a repeat of the earlier attempt to start the race, with Millward taking a tumble back in third place there. So he'll finish with just 1 point, and it's all now down to whether Timms for Birmingham can hold on to the lead, as Rudman certainly making a strong challenge, catches Timms on the back wheel there. Timms not looking too happy about that, but Rudman's off again, and it looks like Lewis Osborne in third place there is more than content to take just the 2 points. So a drawn race on the cards here, although Rudman seems intent on catching up with Timms once again, and once again he rubs his back wheel up the wrong way, and Timms, I don't think, was at all impressed by that. A couple of times in the race there, after that fall by Millward, we saw that Timms and Rudman were, what shall we say, just having a little bit of a contretemps, and here's an example of it, as the back wheel gets clipped there. Tried to just maybe cause Timms to lose control, but Timms stayed on his bike, looked over his shoulder and thought, I don't think so. Well, the Perry Hall crowd marking off their programmes, and they'll see that at this stage in the proceedings there's still 4 points between the two teams, with Birmingham on 62 and Oxford on 66. Heat 14 lines up, another strong lineup of riders, and the Oxford pairing on the inside, Lewis Osborne and Mark Bowler, up against Mark Winward and Marcus Wadhams for Birmingham. We know what Wadhams can do from the start, but here he's not made the gate, and it's currently Lewis Osborne in the lead, and Mark Bowler, he failed to get an inside pass on Wadhams the last time we met, but certainly caught him unawares that time. Comes through into second place in what could be a vital 7-3 advantage to the defending league champions, because Lewis Osborne's out in front, Mark Bowler in second place, Winward for Birmingham third, and as they cross the line, a 7-3 maximum advantage at this stage doubles the Oxford lead from 4 to 8. It's now Birmingham 65, 73 to Oxford, and there's that pass by Bowler, catching, he literally scooted up the inside of Wadhams, catching him unawares, and what a key result that is for Oxford. Well, there are just 3 races to go now, and Oxford hold an impressive 8-point advantage. It's going to take some effort from Birmingham to get back on level terms in these remaining races, but in Heat 16 they've got the pairing of Jack Harold and Scott Millward, the 2 younger riders, out against Sean Rudman and Mark Carmichael for Oxford. So the pressure certainly on the youngsters, as Birmingham are outwitted on the first spin there. Rudman out into the lead from Jack Harold, Mark Carmichael in third place. Oxford currently holding on to a 6-4. This would win them the match. It would give them a 10-point advantage, and there's no way back from that for Birmingham. So something's got to happen from the home side in the next 2 laps. Otherwise it's going to be an Oxford victory here at Perry Hall playing fields. Well, Rudman continues to lead, looking pretty steady. Speedway. He's been warned just to keep racing by the referee. No slowing or tactical manoeuvres going to be allowed in this one, but they're not necessary because it's a win for Rudman. It's a 6-4 to Oxford. They now lead by 10 points. It's Birmingham 74, Oxford 84. Well, the league points are in the bag for Oxford as the riders line up for Heat 17, but they're still going to put 100% effort into their racing, I'm quite sure. And in this one, the Birmingham pairing is Conrad Piantek and Marcus Wadhams up against Lewis Bates and Lewis Osborne for the Oxford Hammers. And that's a pretty tight first bend as Wadhams gets one of his trademark starts and jets away with Bates holding on to second. Piantek under pressure there from Osborne back in third place, and Piantek just takes a tumble there on the dusty conditions. Osborne has no alternative but plough straight into him as Wadhams continues to lead the race, and Bates is second. Looks like Osborne has remounted for third place. Piantek is going to be a non-finisher in this one, so just 3 finishers in Heat 17 with Wadhams holding on to the advantage from Bates and Osborne back in third place. That's going to be a 5-4 Heat victory to Oxford. They won't worry too much. As I say, they've already got a winning margin, but that moves the match score along to Birmingham 78 and Oxford 89. There's the fall by Piantek. Osborne really had nowhere to go, no option but to plough straight into him. The referee allowed them to restart. Oxford go into the final race, Heat 18 here, with their pairing of Mark Bowler and Steve Harris on gates 1 and 3. It's the Herd Timms pairing for Birmingham, but the home side will be racing purely for honour this time as they immediately go into a 7-3. I don't think Oxford are particularly worried in this one. They know they've already got the league points safely under their belts. They're at the top of the league ahead of Birmingham and Poole, and Birmingham will have to be content with a 7-3 heat in this final race here as Oxford celebrate their victory in the match by 85 points to 92. Let's hear now from the 2 captains.
Yeah, it was a superb, the lad's superb. We thought he was going to come here today. It's going to be a really tight match. Obviously, in the end, we've won with 2 clear races. We just had to finish the last 2 races. And the lads, I just said to everyone in the pits, absolute superb, everyone. They all done their jobs, what they was asked, and can't ask for no more than that. 2 points clear, top of the league now, so we're in the driving seat.
Well, obviously we're disappointed from today's performance. We dropped too many mistakes. We were carried one too many riders, I think, but their best team won. They had far too much experience for us, and they just picked the points when they deserved it. I think they deserved the win today. But like I said, they've got tough places to go, so have we. But so look at 3 months' time, see where we are in the league.